Hey guys, it's your favorite schizo-tuber Jordis back with another video. If you're a returning viewer, you might notice that my audio quality is a little bit improved and maybe just the overall video vibes are a bit better. And that's because I got myself some help with editing. I guess people really did hate how shitty my microphone quality was, so hopefully this video is better than the last ones. Anyways, my first official YouTube video was actually a lore analysis of the Christian Love Quest, and it's also one of my most popular videos. I'm pretty new to YouTube, so I'm not sure how this whole thing works, but I think I'm supposed to beat the same horse until it's dead, and the horse in question is the topic of lol cows. And because this is only my second hit of this said dead horse, it's not actually dead yet and it's alive and kicking. So let me know if you want to hear more lolcow content coming from this mouth. Maybe if there's any lolcows that interest you, you can drop them in the comments and maybe I'll make a video about them and maybe I won't. I don't know. It really depends on how lazy I'm feeling. Daniel Larson is a Denver, Colorado-based internet personality, loved and adored by many. Just kidding, he's literally just another autistic individual online forums bully. You know, it's really fucked up that we as a society find it so normalized to pick apart the lives of random individuals for comedic relief and to make ourselves feel better about our own shortcomings. But that's neither here nor there, which is exactly why I've created a quick survey of his life and online history. Let's go! Before I get into this video though, and start with the timeline of events, I just wanted to put a quick disclaimer that I mainly use the Daniel Larson wiki for my information. But honestly, kind of a shit source. It's got a lot of inconsistencies and straight up lies about original sources that you could find out are lies by watching the original source that they're quoting. And I did my best to cross-reference everything, okay? I tried my hardest to make the information in this video fairly accurate. But if there's anything that I got wrong, it's not on me. It's not on me. Don't shoot the messenger. So as I've already said, Daniel lives in Denver, Colorado. However, he was born on November 15, 1988 in Lancaster, California, which makes him 25 at the time of me writing this video. He was sent to Colorado, actually, by his mom to receive better mental health treatment, whatever that means. You can't really exactly take his mom's word for it, because from what I could tell, she was an abusive piece of shit. Daniel had it pretty rough growing up, suffering abuse and neglect from his parents, and even alleged sexual abuse, although the validity of those claims cannot be confirmed, as Daniel himself is an unreliable source. But the emotional and physical abuse was enough to get his grandma, Nancy Scheimer, to move to Denver in order to take the role of his primary guardian when he was only 14.
That's 14-year-old Danny, who came from an extremely neglectful home. When his grandmother got word of Danny's situation, she moved here from California to be his guardian. Wonderful! So he wouldn't end up in a foster home. Danny still lived at the center for a year and a half, but now lives with his grandma, continuing to go to school at Tennyson and receive treatment.
When he came to Tennyson almost 3 years ago, he was very angry and confused and feeling very uncertain about his life and where he belonged and what was going to happen.
Daniel's mother actually has gone on record to claim that he showed early signs of schizophrenia and autism. And also, due to his appearance and the limited knowledge of his early life, it's widely speculated that he also suffers from being afflicted with fetal alcohol syndrome, which, you know, given his parenting, wouldn't really surprise me. But this is, for the most part, unproven and will remain so due to HIPAA protection laws. So unless Daniel himself leaks his medical papers, we're just gonna have to leave it at that. Okay, I for the life of me can't find the fucking pronunciation of this shit, but Daniel graduated from Sebeski Academy at the age of 19 in 2018. That's a school for kids with developmental disabilities, and, you know, he did graduate it. Let's go. But it was only after his completion of grade school that Daniel began to post online. Some of his first online activity can be traced back to late 2019 under a TikTok handle that remained largely unused. The real fun began with the creation of a new account in early 2020, which quickly gained traction. The first video of Daniel's to do pretty well, which is credited to initially put him on the map, is a video of him wishing his fans a good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for everyone who was in the live video today. Thank you for everyone's support. See you on the flip side.
Very charming. Very nice. His popularity kept an exponential growth as he continued to post TikToks, and this early online activity coincided with the 2020 BLM riots, which Daniel interpreted as being led by his fans.
This is 30 seconds of silence for the people who have passed away in the Daniel Larson riot.
During this time, he also claimed he was running for president and was trying to set off on his presidential campaign.
No more mass destruction. Peace. Peace for eternity. Peace for all. This is Daniel Larson for President 2024.
And of course, these displays of autism online led to the inevitable discovery of him by the trolls. Daniel's trolls were quick to scope out his ego and desire for grandeur, and they began to take advantage of it pretty quickly. The people pretending to be record labels to talk to Daniel and get him to do stupid shit were now classified as managers by Daniel Larson enthusiasts. Managers, which according to the Daniel Larson wiki is an umbrella term that describes people or groups who are oftentimes trolls, who have significant power over Daniel's actions and seek to influence Daniel under the guise of being a legitimate manager or management company. The first managers to be recorded were those aforementioned record labels in mid-2020 who would invite him to Zoom meetings and Discord calls and then would attempt to troll him. They would set their screen names to the names of record labels, and then they would offer to sign him in exchange for doing bizarre shit on camera, and he would fall victim to these trolling attempts quite frequently, but over time, he's definitely grown a little bit warier, learned a couple life lessons. But even this wisdom came a little too late, and there wasn't enough of it. In pursuit of fame, Daniel would say slurs, endorse the legalization of child molestation, expose himself on live, just to name a few. All of that for the promise of being signed to some record label. One of the things I listed were not exactly like the rest. By that I mean endorse the legalization of child molestation. Pretty fucking weird. But that's not the furthest he's breached the subject of pedophilia and children. In November of 2020, Daniel Larson had his first leak of his alleged pedophilic behavior come out. A troll by the name of Flexburger found a Pinterest account belonging to Daniel with albums filled with images of children, maps of the United States, and, worst of all, lists of age of consent laws for each state. And this account was linked directly to Daniel Larson himself. Within a couple hours of the leak, Daniel Larson did actually post a video debunking all of the claims, and everything kind of just ended up blowing over from there. You fucking thought? Nah, bro. He posted his first ever online apology within a few hours of the leak, in which he confessed to using the pictures as clopping material a long time ago.
I know this is going to sound very, very crazy, and I mean the Pinterest, well, actually, before I say that, the fans, the Reddit is going to go nuts over this, and I'm probably going to get reported and all of this crazy stuff, but before we even talk about reporting me to the police or FBI or anything like that, I need to explain something real quick about this. Yes, the Pinterest was mine, and yes, I actually followed all of those pictures and stuff of, like, children.
Hello everyone. In the past, I used to use pictures of girls and masturbate to them.
Yes, I created the Pinterest, but like I said, there was no child pornography. Yes, it was pictures of kids though, like underage people.
He admitted to using pictures of children, not even child porn, just children, and fapping to them. This apology was short-lived because after figuring out the password to his old Pinterest and deleting it, he deleted his initial apology and claimed that the account wasn't his and that the media blew the situation out of proportion. Actually, there have been developments to this situation even going up as far as September of 2023, aka only a couple of months ago, because Daniel actually went on record to say that he created the Pinterest to go viral.
I created the Pinterest as a way to go viral.
The Pinterest is a way... Wait, sorry, could you explain?
Maybe Daniel was the real smart one after all. Maybe he's not a pedophile, he's just a marketing genius. At the peak of the hate that Daniel was receiving after having his pedo tendencies leaked online, he actually did go the extra mile to not only disable comments, but also to remove some of his videos, namely ones about an ex-child singer, Grace Vanderwall. Remember that one bitch that would sing in cursive on America's Got Talent? He actually even disabled his entire TikTok account, but much like all the other lolcows who quit, it didn't take very long for him to return. Daniel decided to go on break not after getting accused of pedophilia, but rather between December 20th, 2020 and March 2021, which is a pretty good little chunk of 4 months-ish. And boy, when Daniel came back to the internet, he came back guns blazing. Daniel's first order of business upon his return was to wage war on Flexburger for leaking his Pinterest. In retaliation, Flexburger pretended to be a man named Josh and talked to Daniel into flashing his penis on a TikTok live with over 500 people, resulting in a permaban from TikTok. Since this permanent ban off the platform, Daniel Larson has made numerous alternate accounts to circumnavigate this ban, although they usually end up getting taken down after a bit. Due to his unfortunate circumstances, Daniel branched out to content creation on both YouTube and Likey, which is just worse TikTok. He didn't entirely abandon TikTok, though. He still keeps popping up with accounts here and there on a regular basis. It's just that they usually get removed pretty quickly. Do you remember how I said that pre-comeback, Daniel removed a bunch of his Grace Vanderwall posts? Well, upon his return, he posted mainly about Grace Vanderwall.
I am a pedophile. I have sexted minors. 13 years old, well, I'm going to be honest, 12 years old, all the way up to 18 years old. Grace Vanderwall was one of them. I also sent a dick pic to Grace Vanderwall.
He convinced himself that he was in a relationship with her, so... In this video, I'm not really going to be talking a whole lot about his individual freakouts or his individual situations. This video is really just an overview, a general timeline. So I'm not going to say too much about what he posted about Grace, but it's weird. He's literally just obsessed with this random girl and he thinks that they're in a relationship. It's very bizarre. Around the time that he made his return, he also entered his fog arc, which is basically where he followed the instructions of his managers and covered his phone camera to give it a fog-like effect.
I'm about to jump off a cliff.
This arc isn't that pertinent to my overall synopsis, but during it, he did upload a video of himself rubbing his nipples to Darcy Lynn, who is a minor, and Grace Vanderwall. Editing Jordis here. I can't find this video, and the only mentions of it are on the Daniel Larson Wikipedia. So this could actually be misinformation. Do not take my word on this. There's like a shit ton of other clips, though, of Daniel Larson being creepy to both Grace Vanderwall and Darcy Lynn, so that point stands. I just don't know if he rubbed his nipples to him or not in that very moment. I'm sorry. Overall, 2020 was just mainly filled with schizo posting, Daniel being weird, more schizo posting, schizo autism posting. Basically, aside from the pedophilia leaks, 2020 was pretty chill. He also went viral again in May for calling a man racial slurs after he asked him to leave his porch while Daniel was charging his phone on it. In August of 2021, I think the trolls went a little bit too far. In August, Daniel took a midnight train to California to meet his father, Travis Larson. What makes this situation fucked is that his father was actually a troll impersonating him. So Daniel literally just went to California on a midnight train. I feel like there's a certain point where the trolls have to have a little bit of self-reflection here and think, did I really just make a severely mentally handicapped individual cross state lines to meet someone that they're not even going to end up meeting? That's kind of fucked up. Like, if I found out that one of my friends did that to someone online, I probably wouldn't want to be friends with them anymore because that's just fucking weird. Anyways, after getting up to no good in California, causing a disturbance and giving himself a mohawk, Daniel was relocated back to Colorado by his actual case manager, not to be mistaken with his online managers that got him to California in the first place. This was his actual government caregiver. In 2022, however, he severed ties with his case manager, losing his last source of actual mental health care, furthering his spiral downwards into the troll-ridden internet landscape. This year, he would post himself crying in bathrooms and harming his private area. Yeah, let's just say I've had to scroll through a lot of Daniel Larson penis for this video, and I don't think I'm ever going to recover. In June, he attended an open mic at a Roe v. Wade protest where he talked about his TikTok nudity, Grace Vanderwall, and his grandma's death from cancer. Around this time, Daniel also got arrested for criminal mischief, resulting in him arguing with his case manager at the time and blaming him for everything wrong in his life. Even went as far as to accuse him of stealing $3,000 that were coming into his name after the man was gracious enough to open Daniel a bank account. From this point onward, Daniel's relationship with his case managers was never positive. And in December of 2022, after some more shit that I really don't feel like covering happening because that would require even more context and I really don't feel like adding, and if you really wanted to, you would do your own research rather than watching a fucking recap of it made by some broke college student online. Basically, TLDR, Daniel ended up being homeless in Los Angeles. He stayed in LA between December 2022 and February 2023, and upon leaving LA, he began to travel across America. On the first stop in Daniel's odyssey, he went to Las Vegas in February, going on to get kicked out of multiple casinos and possibly spent time in a mental hospital, although these claims can't really be confirmed because, again, Daniel himself is an unreliable source. After Vegas, he hopped over to Arizona in March, where he had a chunky number of fan interactions, and he was in Arizona for only a total of like 4 days, and by the end of March, his ass was already in Texas. In Texas, Daniel Larson found his debit card, schizo-posted, and convinced himself that he was getting gang-stalked. While there, he had some run-ins with the Texas cops due to his erratic behavior, and it was also during this time Daniel announced,
"I am now collaborating with Blade and Playboy Cardi."
"This has yet to happen, but I've been waiting for this drop since the announcement." After a little while, the gang stalking got to Daniel, causing him to flee to New York around May. When he landed in New York, Daniel engaged with online arguing with World of Shirts, another lolcow that you might actually be familiar with if you clicked on this video to begin with. This nightmarish crossover resulted in Daniel making several anti-Semitic TikToks targeted at World of Shirts.
Did you know that World of T-Shirts is a Jew? Well, that explains a lot.
And he would constantly just be threatening him online. They had a pretty funny back and forth. And on May 10th, he actually met World of Shirts in a highly anticlimactic live stream where they just sat on a couch together and acted a little autistic and awkward. Daniel's cross-country travels would end as he left New York City and returned to Denver, Colorado on May 20th. Daniel's summer was actually pretty eventful because on July 9th, 2023, he adopted a German Shepherd mix named Zola from the Longmont Humane Society in Longmont, Colorado. Editing orders here. I just wanted to let everyone know how long it took me to say the name of that shelter 2 times in a sentence. Holy fuck, that's like unnecessarily difficult. Unreasonably difficult? Is that the right word? Anyways, you fucking try to say that 3 times fast. I don't know. His intent for getting her was to keep her as a guard dog against the trolls.
Hey everyone, meet my new pal, Music.
And after the trolls found out that he got this dog, they relentlessly contacted the shelter that he was getting her from, and she was quickly repossessed by them only 3 days later on July 11th. And oh brother, Daniel did not take nicely with the confiscation of his new furry companion, and freaked out at a Walmart, which resulted in a psychiatric hold and then an admission to a mental health facility. He was released on July 19th. In August of that same summer, after being suspended from Cameo, Daniel was yet again faced with financial instability, leaving him punching walls in a motel. On September 10th, 2023, Daniel announced plans to enroll in the University of Boulder, Colorado the subsequent year. This was spurred about by some frat guys at Boulder who convinced him that he was a student. And now we're here, at 2024. With the start of 2024, there doesn't seem to be any improvements to Daniel's mental well-being, and he's still doing the usual public meltdowns, troll interactions, and schizo posting. Daniel Larson's online activity has gone so far down that he's been upgraded by most individuals aware of his presence from lolcow to horror cow. And now, while I think a lot of the treatment by the trolls was unjust, Daniel has exhibited signs of being a deplorable individual who, while in part of being a product of circumstance, really did a lot of it just to himself. Schizophrenia, autism, fetal alcohol syndrome, whatever the fuck else kind of ailments that Daniel suffers from, none of them cause being a pedophile. I hope that you all could take Daniel's life as a lesson. Don't do anything stupid for the pursuit of fame. And don't jerk off to kids. Jordis, out.